Alright, I'm not going to show rebuilding the throttle body because I've already done it twice on the Vista build. If you haven't seen that, look up there. But here's what it looks like before. This is the Evo 3 throttle body. Yeah, I'm going to clean it up, make it look real nice.
We got the throttle body blasted, and now we're using the same polished aluminum powder as the manifold. And while it's all set up, we'll hit the compressor housing too.
Alright, I'm almost done with the throttle body rebuild. I picked this up. So these are the idle air controller. This is for a 3000 GT. Now, they're a lot cheaper than the ones for DSMs. And from what I can tell, it should work. But we'll find out. So, that's going to go on next. Okay, there's the throttle body, finished rebuilt. I've got the 3000 GT idle air controller. I've got just a TPS from a 2G. All new seals. Powder coated. Looks great. So, what's nice about this Evo 3 throttle body is it has the 2G style throttle stop, not the big switch style like the 1G NA, but it's still the larger port. So, it's matched to this intake manifold. So, oh yeah, I'm working on lines, but I'll show you that when I'm done. Alright, I got the cam angle sensor cleaned up, and there's a guy on the DSM tuners forums who used to make these anodized billet aluminum cam angle sensor caps, and he had one left. I hit him up and he had one left. So anodized black, looks really nice, came with some really nice flush cap head Allens, and yeah, got this cleaned up. This will run under the intake manifold, so we'll get this put on. Okay, that's installed. It's not torqued down yet because I'm gonna still need to set the base timing, but here's why I like this thing, because you can hide the cable. I know the 90 cam angle sensor isn't the best one, but I like it because of the cable. And I'll be able to sneak it around with these other wires coming from the thermostat housing sensors. So, also got this front cowl on. Got that all powder coated up, looks really good. And yeah, I think that's the latest.
Now let's get that throttle body installed.
Alright, the throttle body's on, and this isn't gonna work. So my return works right here. This clears, but my vacuum line does not. So this swivels, which is how it's designed, I suppose. I mean, it is, but I don't know why. But I guess it's kind of nice. So what I'm going to do is I'll unbolt this top hat and clock this. Probably one more that way, so I can sneak that vacuum line right down next to it and follow this down. So I know my logo won't be straight, but it's fine. Yeah, that's what I'll have to do. But the throttle body's on. I got these ARP bolts because the Evo throttle body is a lot shorter than the stock 2G one, so it doesn't have the studs here. It probably did on an Evo, but I don't have them, so I just did 4 bolts. It's easy enough to get to, and it looks really nice. So yeah, so there it is. I've got the heat barrier gasket because it's a good gasket, it's reusable, and I like that. We'll see if that clears my fitting here. I think it does. Okay, it did. This fitting did hit the throttle cable, so I just swapped this end out for a 45, and now it's nice and clear. Okay, so now I'm gonna work on some intercooler piping. This is what I have to work with. I got this pipe. These are real cheap on eBay for obvious reasons. This thing is not even close to flat, but that's easy to fix. It gives me the right flange I need. So what I think I'm gonna try and do is get this puppy on here, get it at an angle, put a 45 on this, and then a straight piece in between here. And then I'll have that piece, you know, like that. I'll cut this down and then have it welded to this, because I think that would just look a lot better. And it would be nice if I had 1, 2 couplers on this side. This side will be a little different, obviously. I'd like to get, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm probably gonna have to do a 90 coupler and a 90 coupler and then a straight piece, but we'll see. I could definitely do this side with 2 couplers. So 4 couplers on the whole thing would be awesome, but yeah, we'll see. First, let's cut this pipe and see if we can get a nice piece in there. Probably something like that. No, I won't be using a blue coupler, but yeah, I think that looks really nice. Nice and straight. That'll look really good. So then I'll put my intake air temp sensor somewhere right around here on the bottom, and then my meth nozzle on the bottom up here closer to the throttle body. And then obviously the blow-off valve will go right there. So I think that'll work for the upper intercooler pipe. Okay, so here we have the shifter base. I just pulled it out of the car. I'm gonna rebuild it because it felt a little sloppy in the car, and I'm rebuilding. I got all the bushings for the transmission side of the shifter, so I might as well just do the whole thing. And I was just gonna swap out bushings and stuff, but then look at it. It's disgusting. That's a lot of surface rust. So I need to clean it up more than I originally anticipated. So I think I'm going to take the whole thing apart and clean it up. I don't know if I'll paint it or powder coat it, but I'll do something to it. It needs some love. So you can see this play right here. I don't know, maybe you can't see it, but there's play there. This arm has play. And then this whole bracket has play. So, and we've got rubber base bushings. Those just gotta go. A rubber base bushing. Alright, there it is, blasted. So now I'm gonna mask it off, and I'll probably powder coat it just because it's easier to powder coat than it is to paint. Here it is, fresh out the oven, well, and cooled. Is powder coating completely overkill? Definitely, but it's easier than painting. So what I've got here is the Dude's Custom bushing kit. It has these nice directions, and each bag is individually labeled so that you can put it together right. So I took pictures, and I've got another one here in case I get confused. But yeah, just looks great. I'm gonna put it back together, grease everything, and it should be nice and tight. All right, there it is. This thing feels so good. Everything's so tight. And yeah, so I put some Loctite on this to hold it in place. And yeah, I mean, it's so smooth and predictable. And I still have the ones that go here on the cable and the base bushings, but I'll put those in the car. So for now, that's rebuilt, and that's really nice. All right, there it is. The shifter is installed, and all the new bushings are in, and everything feels really precise and smooth, and you're not guessing, is it in gear? So yeah, feels really good. I'm happy with it. Okay, so now we're gonna put the turbo on. I've got the drain fitting adapter put in. That's a 10AN, and everything's tight on this. Not using the coolant ports, so doesn't matter about those. So yeah, let's put it on. In there. There we go. I'll tighten that up a little more once I know this is in the right position, but it looks pretty good so far. I think I can sneak an oil feed in there. We've got real tight clearance against the water pipe. That's okay. Yeah, it looks good in there. Looks real good. Okay, so this will be the final intercooler routing. Since I've got the turbo on now, I've got this 2-inch to 2.5-inch elbow coupler on. And that goes down to my 2.5-inch 90, right into the inlet of the intercooler. Then we'll come out of the intercooler with a 2.5-inch 45, straight up. And this is a 2.5 to 2 3/4 straight. I will get a black one, but yeah. And then I popped the intake on to make sure it cleared this angle, and it does. So that's great. But really happy with that intercooler routing. I think it looks really nice. So hopefully I don't run into issues with my dump tube on the wastegate. So we'll see about that. Okay, so now I'm working on the vacuum line for the fuel pressure regulator, and I had to order this, which is 3AN PTFE hose that's in the black nylon jacket, which is really hard to find. I can only find it from this company, and I'm pretty sure they're in Australia. So why am I doing PTFE for vacuum lines? Because I'm doing PTFE on everything. I like to work with it better than the regular stuff. So yeah, got a little bit of hose. I've got a fitting on the fuel pressure regulator, like that. And then I've got one down on the vacuum manifold back there. So let's make a line. Is all finished up. Just goes down with the fuel return and then right up into the vacuum block there. Yeah, looks good. That's pretty nice hose, so it's easy to work with, which is good, because if you get the really cheap stuff, it can be a pain to work with. So get decent stuff. Save yourself the headache. Okay, the fuel system is officially done. I just ran the fuel feed from right here around the back and up here into the fuel rail. This is a nice little swivel fitting. So all of these swivel, which is nice. It'll kind of absorb the shock with the hoses. So yep. Then I got this other port plugged, gauges there. Vacuum line's on, so the fuel system is officially done, which is pretty cool. And I think it'll be good. I'm happy with it. This filter looks pretty serviceable. I'll just have to pop this upper intercooler pipe off, and I'll be able to get to it pretty easily to clean out. Yeah. So now I'm gonna fix this wiring. This is for the temp sensor for the gauge. It goes right here. I'm gonna put a new end on it. Then I'll get this all wires tucked up. Then I can make these heater core hose lines. Okay, there they are. It was a bit of a struggle. This really short one is really short and it doesn't flex much. So, but I got it. Got them on. They look good. Hopefully they don't leak, but when the whole coolant system's together, we'll pressurize it with air and check for leaks before we fill it with water. So I got the turbo oil return drain made. This is 10AN PTFE, and it's really difficult to make one this short. If you've ever wrestled that, you know what I'm talking about. It beats you up. It really does. So, but it's good. According to the manufacturer of this turbo, the clocking of the center housing can be up to 30 degrees, which I measured it with an angle finder and it's at 10 degrees. So, just fine, well within spec. The turbo drain is made. My water pump pulley from Evo Spec Performance came. This is an overdrive pulley, or underdrive, so it spins the pump less at higher RPMs. They did a lot of testing and it's proven to be pretty good. So even if it was the exact same, this looks a lot better than the stock pulley. And since this is the only pulley that you'll see, it needs to be nice. So this is the V2. Yeah, so we're gonna install this. Okay, there it is. It looks great. Not too bad to install. So because I went to a bolt here instead of a stud, it was actually in the way. So this bolt is just, you can see it right there. It's just a little bit too long. So I'm just gonna put a little washer under this and that'll be fine. And then yeah, I'll figure out what belt I need. So this will just go between here and the outer part of the harmonic balancer. Yeah, looks really good.
It's time to install the exhaust.
Okay, there's the exhaust. Yeah, it fits pretty good. We just gotta take the downpipe back off and wrap it. But we were just making sure it fit. All right, we've got the downpipe wrapped and clamped. Just doing this section where it's under the engine. The rest is fine. But yep, got a couple stainless clamp zip ties up here, which will look real nice, and then worm clamps, because no worm clamps in the engine bay. So yep, now we'll put it on for real. All right, there it is. The exhaust is on. We've got the downpipe going through there real nice. The catback and the muffler. We got this fixed. This had a broken off bolt in it, so we got the broken off bolt, saved the threads, so we're able to get that bolted up, and this thing is perfectly in its home. So yeah, this is great. This is the Apexi Megaphone Dunk system, which is just great because I love basketball. Made in Japan.
It's time to address the wheels. This is a set of Evo 9 Enkis that I've had for a while that are in serious need of a refresh. So I hit up my guy Ian at Pure Performance Coatings for this job. He killed it with this one. The color is Laser Diamond from Prismatic Powders, and I couldn't be happier with the result. Just look at these things. We finished them off by wrapping them in some Yokohama Advent Apex tires.
All right, the wheels are on, and now I'm gonna put it on the ground for the first time in a long time. So be really curious to see how low or high the suspension is, but yeah, we'll get it on the ground. Let's do that. Man, this wheel gap is bad. Oh my goodness. I can almost fit my whole hand sideways in there. Back looks pretty good though. Looks pretty good. Yep, that's about 2 fingers. 1 3/4 fingers. But yeah, it looks good. All right, coils. All right, it's time to make the coil unplug kit. These are Denso Toyota legit coils. They come in a box that says Lexus and Toyota. And there's the part number. These are for first gen Priuses because they're short. I ordered a bunch of different ones, used ones, to try out which one would work well, and this is what I landed on. This with this VR Racing, which is one of those Malaysian Evo 3 shops. It took like a month and a half to get here, but yeah, this is the plate. It's supposed to go with the taller Denso coils, and then you use spacers, and this sits up off the valve cover about like this, and I thought that looked terrible. So I found these Prius coils, and this will sit all the way down, and these are the right length, no spacer required. So yeah, I'm gonna put these together on this, and then I'm going to make a harness. I've got pigtails for each of these, and I'm gonna wire it into the harness. So yeah, we'll get started on this.
The reason we're going coil unplug is mainly for looks, but it does also eliminate the stock igniter and old coil packs, so there is some simplicity added to the ignition system. All wired and mocked up. This isn't the actual valve cover the car will have, so I'm not bolting the coils in just yet. You'll have to wait till the next episode to see what that looks like, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.